Vice Media nears a deal for $400 million sale. Go down a little bit out of bankruptcy. No, let me just read at the top. I'm sorry. I was just saying to be able to read the top. Yeah. The media businesses talks to sell itself to top lenders, Fortress Investment, and Soros Fund Manager.
Oh, weird. Isn't that weird?
Reorganization that would wipe out other investors.
Now look up $250 million debt financing Soros Vice.
Stay on that real quick and then go back. Go to the $250 million. Let me just read the bottom and then go to that. Go up a little bit. I just want to see what else is. Yeah, right there. Right there is Fortress, $400 million. Nearly every Vice stockholder, including backers such as private equity from TPG, Sixth Street, and Mogul James, would be wiped out under the proposed organization. Wow, people familiar with the matter. Outstanding debts held by TPG, Sixth Street would be impaired. As part of the plan, the people said the Murdoch family is a major shareholder in the journal parent News Corp. The planned sale of the company of its lenders would value Vice at around $400 million, including debt. The people said a steep drop from $5.7 million. Okay, now go to the $250 million. Vice Media gets $250 million debt funding from
George Soros.
And that's 2018.
And so this is debt funding. So what they're saying now is that $400 million valuation includes the debt he already had. So what does that mean? Not to mention I think it was earlier this year, they got $30 million in debt financing. I imagine it might have been from Soros. So we're talking about they're sitting on $280 million in debt. Is that
Plus
400? But does that $400 million valuation mean that Soros Fund is buying the company for $120 million?
Right.
Because he's not going to pay his own debt back.
Assuming the debt and
right. Or however much they may have paid back. So people point out the Soros thing, and I'm like, yeah, that was 4 years ago. But my view of it was there was an article that was came out a long time ago, and it was a little cartoon animation they made of Shane Smith with a frying pan and a book in it, and he was flipping it because they said that he was cooking the books. And what they accused him of doing, and I don't know if this is true. Okay, I'm just saying this is a big narrative that. He would do this very clever thing where he would say, "This year we put $1 billion on the books." What does that really mean? Well, to the average person who doesn't know much about the industry or business or finance or deals, they think he added $1 billion in revenue. When what he was actually saying is, we did a 30-year deal. I love this one. I just gave a guy. This is what the casino does near me. They say you could win $1 million if you enter this raffle. And at the bottom in fine print, it says $25,000 a year for 40 years.
Oh, great.
Great. So they're going to give you $2,000 per month for 40 years. Maybe the average age of the person at the casino is not going to live for 40 years, but they call it giving you $1 million. Very, very clever financing.
Great marketing. Really is marketing.
But that's an annuity, though. Most life insurance, most lottery winners get an annuity. They don't get that.
The point is, though, when you are told, enter this contest for a chance to win $1 million, and what they're actually saying is $25K a year, it's a very, very different. You think you get $1 million, I'm buying a boat.
What I'm saying to you is, what they're telling you is we're giving you $1 million annuity. That's what they're saying. An annuity is, when you win the lottery, if you win $100 million, if you take the whole thing up front, you're going to get taxed, 50%?
Yeah, you're going to get 40. You're going to get 40.
You're going to end up getting $50 million, let's just say $40 million. Versus you take an annuity and you say, I'm going to take this $100 million over a 40-year period. Okay, then you're going to get $2.5 million every year for 40 years.
Right,
that's an option, and you pay less taxes.
The point is, if I walked up to the average person and said, if you buy a raffle ticket from me, you could win $1 million, they're not expecting to get $2,000 per month for 40 years. They think my life will change. I'll buy a house.
I get that. I just think that part, there's a lot of things. I don't know these guys. I don't know what they're doing. My concern is a whole different concern. My concern is
if you go to an investor and say, we need $100 million to expand, and we just put $300 million on the books this year.
Yeah.
What do you think that investor is thinking? I mean, look, any savvy investor is going to be like, what does that mean on the books this year? But there was a clever thing that was being done in media in the 2010s where it was called ad rights assignment or ad rights sales. Mm-hmm. All of these media companies would take their gold standard brand they'd pay for. Let's call it Splice. Just a random word related to an unrelated company. And they would say get 30 million views per month. They would then go to another website that generate a click farm. You ever see those articles where it's like, you won't believe where the celebrity is now?
Yeah.
And it's like 25 photos. You click it, And then there's 800 ads and one picture of Tom
Yeah.
Cruise. You click next, it loads a new page. That's click farming.
That is the worst. And then you're now you're 7 pages in. You're like, I gotta go.
Where the hell is
I gotta
Tom?
go 18
Where the hell's
minutes.
Tom Cruise?
I'm out.
Where's Tom Cruise?
Yeah.
Here's how it works, and it probably still happens today. Splice would go to that company and say, sell us the rights to sell ads on your views. And they would say, you got it. Splice would then say, the 50 million garbage views from that trash website are now a part of Splice views. They would then go to advertisers and say, the Splice network gets 80 million views per month. Don't you want to be a part of it? The advertiser thinks they're buying the gold standard of content. What they don't realize is their ads are being assigned to a garbage clickbait website no one actually reads.
Your beef is, it sounds like it, at least on the surface, sort of a bait and switch type of deal. We're cooking the book.
But here's
I think
what-
it's fraud.
But here's what I love about what you're saying, and a lot of people do that.
They all did it too.
Yeah, he's absolutely right. And by the way, there's another magazine that we were trying to buy 6 months ago. Tom and Mario know about this one here. We're on a call with them. And remember back in the days when people would buy fake YouTube views and, it would show 17 million views, 17 comments. I said, dude, you did not get 17 million. And you could buy these views. And I'm like, well, I'm going to go buy views. I'm going to go buy views. And then Twitter, you can buy 1 million followers for $5,000 and you're getting 2 retweets or 1 retweet, right? He knows this. This was run. And even when, I don't know, what Gingrich or they did an Obama thing on his followers, 75% of followers on Twitter was fake or whatever the number was. This was on one of the elections that took place. But here's the thing. If you do that, say you sell advertisers. There's this magazine that sold this show to a big phone company, okay? And I'm listening to the pitch, and they said, we got 28 million views. It's the #1 show. It's competing with Shark Tank. I'm watching the show because I was invited to be one of the hosts on the show. I'm like, guys, I know YouTube. You know YouTube. This is how you're selling it to this phone company? Yeah. You're not getting these views. As a YouTuber, I know. Show me your AdSense on the back and how many, if you're saying this thing got 17 million views, how much money did you make on this? How did you get 17 million views but only 28 cents on revenue on this video? The point becomes that strategy that a lot of guys did in 2010s, and he's right, a lot did it. They did it on YouTube, they did it on Twitter. Today, you know what the advertisers are finally listening? They're learning. Okay, we'll test you out for 1 ad, 2 ads, 3 ads. Dude, we got no conversion. We're not coming back. And then if you have a reputation of people dropping you over and over and over again, all they're going to say is, yeah, these ads don't convert because you have just as much of a job if you bring in a sponsor to convert theirs, he knows this, as they do. They may give you $100,000 or $200,000 or $500,000, but they're expecting, is this going to convert or not?
But what if then you get those 70 million views or whatever, disable comments, and then you go to a network and say, our show of 10 episodes got 7 million views each. Oh, we don't like the comments because people have hate speech.
Well, if the advertisers want to do that, then
But not advertisers. The network buys the show from you.
No. Well, then the network who buys the show have to go in the category of qualified morons, and that's totally fine. And that's going to happen as well. There's a lot of them out there.
Yep, and it happened a lot.
It happened a lot. No, you're right. It happened a lot, and a lot of people got money. And let's not forget what YouTube did just 2.5 years ago, 3 years ago, when they said you can no longer put the thumbs down, or when Biden was speaking, the thumbs down was gone. You couldn't see comments were disabled, and nobody wanted to. Even today, when they go on C-SPAN or some of these different places, comments are disabled. You can't see any of that stuff.
So if you like this clip and you want to watch another one, click right here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click right here.